Okay, picture this. Someone you know, maybe even yourself, just throws this out there. I do what pleases me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with total conviction, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Well, freedom, right? That rush of independence, like you're completely your own boss.
Oh, absolutely. It's that fantasy of being totally autonomous. But the moment you start to unpack it, you hit this really deep question.
Which is,
Is that really freedom?
yeah,
Sustainable, meaningful freedom? Or is it just, well, a fancy way of saying I'm going to be selfish?
yeah, that's the tightrope we're walking today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our source material really dives into this, takes us from that initial feeling of independence right through to needing a filter,
Yeah.
purpose over just pleasure.
Right. Our mission here is to bridge that gap. Go from that immediate high breaking the rules, doing your own thing, to something more lasting. Fulfillment that comes from living life on terms that actually mean something.
Finding that line between just having fun and being genuinely liberated.
Exactly.
So let's start with the appeal. Why does that phrase, I do what it pleases me, hit such a nerve? Why does it feel so good?
Well, it feels like taking ownership, doesn't it? It's like saying no to all the external stuff, expectations, what society thinks, what your parents told you.
Right.
It's basically declaring, this is my life. I call the shots. And that whiff of independence, it's pretty powerful stuff.
And it's not like this is a brand new idea, philosophically speaking. The sources link it directly to existentialism, right? Specifically Sartre.
Yeah, Jean-Paul Sartre. His idea that we're condemned to be free.
Okay, condemned always sounds a bit dramatic. Let's break that down. If I'm free, the condemnation, what's so bad about it?
Well, condemned highlights the weight of it. See, if there's no pre-written script for your life, no higher power telling you what to do or who to be,
And it's all on you.
all on you, every single choice, it's not just about what you do, it defines who you are becoming to yourself and, to everyone else. And that's, well, it can be pretty overwhelming.
Zeeting, yeah. I mean, you can't just point fingers when things go wrong. No blaming fate or your upbringing.
The buck stops entirely with you. You're free, yes, but you are 100% responsible for that freedom.
Okay.
But, and this is the crucial part, internalizing that responsibility, that's incredibly empowering. It's what lets an artist create something totally new, something nobody gets yet.
Or the entrepreneur who starts with nothing when everyone says don't bother.
Exactly. Or the dissenter who stands up even when they're standing alone.
It's that moment you realize you don't need permission to exist. You actually have to build yourself, choice by choice. That's the amazing part of that absolute independence idea.
But, and there's always a but, isn't there? If it's so great, why do the sources immediately wave a caution flag? Why the need to pump the brakes?
Because pure, unchecked freedom runs into a problem pretty quickly. What happens when my doing only what pleases me bumps up against, well, everyone else? Reality.
Yeah, the shadow behind the sunshine.
Exactly.
The conflict pops up the second another person walks into the room, metaphorically speaking. If my only rule is, does this make me happy? What happens when my happiness means someone else suffers?
Let's make that real. Like, convenience. If it pleases me to have a super easy life with lots of disposable stuff, big car,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't think at all about the environmental cost.
Then your pleasure becomes a burden down the line, or even right now, for people dealing with climate change impact.
Right. Or think about online stuff. So much conflict there.
Oh, yeah.
If it pleases me to just stir things up online, post nasty comments because I get a kick out of the reaction or feel right for a second,
That's you exercising your freedom.
but it makes the whole space toxic, right? It actually
Yeah.
reduces freedom for everyone else who wants to have a reasonable conversation.
It's that critical difference between self-determination, which is good, and just pure self-centeredness.
Yeah.
If you only chase pleasure, you end up in a world where maybe you feel free, but your choices are boxing everyone else in.
Which is where the sources bring in a heavy hitter to sort this out.
Immanuel Kant, he really throws a wrench in the simple do what pleases you idea.
He does. So what's Kant's big correction? How does he see freedom differently?
Okay, so Kant says true freedom isn't just doing whatever you feel like doing in the moment. Because, let's be honest, often what we want is just an impulse, a craving, maybe even a bad habit we're stuck in.
Like wanting to eat the whole cake? I want to, but I know it's not really free. Not in the long run.
Exactly. That's being a slave to your impulses, Kant would say. Real freedom, for him, rational freedom, is about doing what you ought to do.
Hold on. Ought. That sounds like rules. like the opposite of freedom.
Yeah.
How is following an ought more liberating than just following my desires?
Because the ought Kant talks about isn't some external rule book someone hands you. It's the moral law you figure out through reason. It's what you, as a rational person, would agree everyone should follow.
So it's self-imposed, based on reason, not just feeling.
Precisely. It's the ability to rise above your immediate gut reaction and choose based on a principle. That act of choosing reason over impulse is liberation. It's self-mastery.
Okay, so the real test isn't can I break all the rules? It's more like can I choose rules that work for everyone, including myself?
You got it. And that ought, the sources emphasize, has to come from a place of respect. Deep respect for other people as human beings and, crucially, respect for your own potential, your own rationality.
Kant's idea of treating people as ends in themselves, never just as tools for my own goals.
That's the one, never merely as a means to an end.
And when that respect vanishes, when people, yourself included, become just things to use for pleasure, that's when things get messy. The source calls it chaos.
Because that's what happens if everyone's only guide is what pleases me right now. Society just breaks down. Think about it. Chaos is actually its own kind of prison, isn't it?
How so?
Well, in total chaos, agreements mean nothing. Promises are worthless. You can't trust anyone. Nobody learns because there's no shared understanding. So, ironically, chasing absolute individual license destroys the very conditions you need to be truly free and pursue your goals safely.
Wow, okay. So that raw do what pleases me motto,
It did.
it needs that Kantian adjustment. It needs a better filter inside us.
Yes. We need to shift gears. Move beyond just chasing that temporary buzz and look for something solid, something that lasts. Purpose.
This feels like the core of it, distinguishing between like different kinds of good feelings.
Totally. There's the quick thrill, right? Breaking a rule, the sugar rush of doing something naughty. It's like caffeine hits fast, fades fast, leaves you wanting another hit.
Yeah. But meaning, that's different. That comes from purpose. It's more like solid food, it sticks with you.
It grows with you. It helps you get through the tough stuff because the value is in the action itself, not just the immediate buzz it gives you.
So the goal isn't to kill pleasure, it's to filter it.
Exactly. Use purpose as the sieve. Stop seeing them as enemies. The idea is to line up your choices, including the things that bring you pleasure, with what actually matters most to you, your core values.
The source mentions specific ones. Integrity, empathy, creativity. Let's say creativity. Okay, so maybe scrolling TikTok for hours brings some fleeting pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
But if my deeper purpose is to create, that scrolling actually works against it. Whereas forcing myself to sit down and write for an hour, even if it feels hard initially.
That might also bring a kind of pleasure, maybe satisfaction or pride, and it aligns with your purpose.
Right, two very different kinds of good feelings. One is just consuming, the other is building.
And when pleasure lines up with purpose, then freedom isn't just noise or potential destruction anymore. It becomes constructive, a force for good. You're not just reacting to the world, you're consciously shaping it.
Which leads us to the final synthesis, the upgraded motto, the one that captures this whole journey.
Right. It takes us beyond that simple, reactive, I do what it pleases me, because that original phrase, there's no real choice of self in it. It's just impulse.
So the new version,
Yeah.
the one that blends Sartre's freedom with Kant's responsibility.
It becomes, I do what pleases me because it aligns with who I choose to be.
That's different. That word because is doing a lot of work there.
It integrates everything. The feeling, the pleasure, yes, but connects it to a deliberate, chosen identity, a purpose. That's the difference between just making noise.
And making art.
Making art out of your life, exactly.
So freedom without that wisdom, without that conscious choice about who you want to be,
Yeah.
it's just random, chaotic. It fizzles out.
Yeah, it doesn't build anything lasting. But freedom, guided by conscience, rooted in respect, shaped by purpose. Now that is something else.
That's the art, the life worth living, you could say.
Definitely.
So here's the thought for you, listening right now. As you go about your day, try applying this filter. Big decisions, small ones, doesn't matter. Before you act, just pause and ask. Is this purely about what feels good right now, or does this action actually line up with the person I am deliberately choosing to become?
That little pivot from just the immediate want to the considered chosen ought, that's where real freedom starts to take shape in your life.
Keep thinking about it. Stay curious.
We'll talk soon.